Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I've been trying this with fits and starts. If you look around, you're going to see some other videos that I've tried to do. And, the things I was kind of trying to emulate other people with their videos. The only thing that I'm doing, I guess that's similar to other people, is the fact that I'm sitting in a chair, staring at a camera, got a microphone, got my lights, trying to make it halfway decent looking. I even put on a button down shirt, which, if you know me, I never like to wear these things. I like to wear black t shirts. Anyway, but my point is, I've been in this business for way too long. That's why I'm so good looking. So, for my video, what I thought I'd do is I want to kind of share some knowledge that I've got. I'm going to complain about a lot of things, I'm going to give opinions on things. I might talk about gear, but I'm not going to do full gear reviews, at least not for now. To me, it's more about, does it work? Does it not work? And everything that I use, everything that I talk about is something that is part of my kit or part of something that I do. I work mostly as a DP. I work as a director and as a producer as well, but DP is kind of my main thing. The type of work that I do right now is mostly, I do a lot of television work. So I do a lot of docu-follow series, murder shows is a big one. I also do some corporate video, and I do commercials, and I do documentaries, and I don't really delve into the narrative world so much. Although I wouldn't mind getting back into that. I used to do that stuff. I used to live in LA and had that whole world. And now I live in the beautiful state of Texas, where it's 150,000 degrees. I'm going to try and give pointers and tips and, advice on things. And some things are going to be really obvious, and some things are going to be like, wow, I hadn't really thought about that, but that kind of makes sense. Or, Mikon, what you just said makes absolutely no sense at all to me. But this one, I think, is kind of interesting, especially when you start to build up your kit, your gear, right? And let's say that you're a filmmaker, you've got your camera, and you go online and you see these hard cases, and they've got laser cut foam, right? And it's got everything labeled. It's like, okay, the camera body goes here, and the top handle goes here, and the batteries go here. And it sure looks cool, especially when you open that case up and everything's all laid out there. I mean, it's like a spy movie, right? When they've got their gun and they're like pulling all together, and the sniper's about to go, do their job. But what I found is, if you're using your gear a lot, it's nothing but a headache, because that means you have to assemble it every single time you want to use it, and then disassemble it every time you're done with it so they can go back in the case. If you don't use it very often, or it's very specialty, or maybe it's like a single thing, laser cut, like if you have a single lens, like, I don't know, for example, what's that crazy, the Laowa 24 millimeter probe lens, right? It's like that weird kind of, phallic looking thing. Laser cut for that, perfect, because it's not, there's nothing you add or subtract from it. If there's a kit that you have to build and then take apart, that can be kind of a hassle. So to me, I would say straight, kind of stray away from those unless it's something that's already always kind of pre-built or pre-done. I do have some drone cases that have some cutouts, and that seems to work. But the drone itself is something that I pull right out, and it works. Cameras, for me, cameras are always changing depending on the job. Some jobs I want it really lightweight and I strip it all down. Other jobs I need to add, extra gack to it. So again, to me, if I'm using hard cases, which I do tend to prefer, I will use foam dividers, because the foam dividers, you can change them as you see fit. And then the case can also be repurposed for something else. You sometimes might outgrow the case that you initially bought with your camera, because you added some lenses, and now you're like, you know what, I want to have a case for lenses, I want to have a case for the camera, any of those kind of things. And the case can then be repurposed with the foam dividers, because you can redo it. And you can also use something like a Trek pack. I have one case with a Trek pack. Trek pack I find to be a bit costly, but it's good stuff, good quality. They make it really well. I know there's a lot of do a search on YouTube. There's people that show you how to make your own Trek pack or Trek pack style thing. I'm sure Trek pack's thrilled that I'm telling people that. But and then, yeah, you can use a soft case as well. I don't tend to use soft cases nearly as much. I do have some for my cameras, because I leave them built and I need the expansive size, and a giant hard case is kind of a pain sometimes. But to each his own, or her own, or their own. But the point is, Think about that before you buy something that looks cool because it's not always the way to go. That's it. What am I going to gripe about? I want to gripe about something that I work on a lot. One of the things I do a lot of is interviews. I do tons and tons of interviews, especially for television. And the thing that I've seen, there's kind of a trend out there. As you can see how I'm sitting right now, right? I'm kind of framed. So I'm on this side of the frame and I've got this space here and I'm talking into the space. My point is framing, because to me, framing, this is a nice way of framing something. I like to have the person on the side and they're talking into the open space. They're facing the open space, whether they're talking to somebody over here, like I'm, hello there, how are you? I'm just talking to a wall like an idiot. But if I'm talking directly at the camera, I could center it a little bit more and that still looks pretty nice. That's a good thing. But the thing that really bugs me is when you're doing an interview and they're talking off axis, right? So they're talking over here, but they're over this far. I don't know if my mic's going to pick me up. They're sitting over here like this, right? And you have all the space behind the head. Like what the hell is that? That does that look good to anybody? Because I know that people are probably trying to do it as some kind of creative, something different. And I get that, but I think that there are other ways to be creative with the interview. Interviews can be super bland and boring. It's really, to me, it's more about not just the framing. And like I said, I'm a classic kind of guy. I like classic framing, but think also about your audience and when they're watching it. The place I see this most often is in sports documentary interviews for some reason. I don't know why. That's where they do it, especially the ESPN shows, and they frame the person way over here on this side, looking this way, so they're looking over there, right? And to me, it's a little off-putting. And now that it's in your head, you might see the same thing that I'm seeing, right? Now, the same thing with like a second angle, a tight shot. They'll do the same thing. They'll have like the edge of frame is like right here, and they're kind of in their face. It's like and to me, it's like they're. I see the frame of the screen as a set of walls. That's how I look at it. So they're talking into a wall. I mean, would you ever have anyone do that? Talk to a wall? No, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're in trouble. It's just kind of a gripe that I have, and it annoys the living crap out of me. Maybe it doesn't bother you. I don't know. But anyway, I'm not coming on to YouTube to be a gear review person. And as you all know, it's gotten a little out of hand, to be honest. I mean, the second that a piece of kit is announced, it might be a new drone. Literally within 30 minutes of the announcement, there's all these YouTube videos. To me, part of it is they're kind of selling the product for the manufacturer, which nothing wrong with that, absolutely fine. But I think that at the same time, um, there's enough out there, and there's enough good reviewers and enough solid people out there that give that. To me, it's about I bought a piece of kit and I'm using it, and I will tell you if I like it or I don't. And one of the things that I really like right now that I bought not that long ago is the Hollyland M1 transceiver set. So it's a 5-inch monitor. You get two of them in the kit, and it costs $1,000, something like that. At least in the United States, it's $1,000. So I'm sure in Australia it's 3 million, and in the UK it's $12. I have no idea what that means. But what's cool about it is, since it's a transceiver set, that means that each monitor can be a transmitter or a receiver, and you can add more to the kit. You can use Hollyland's other stuff, and in the end, I think that's it's an amazing product. Now, if you go online, people are going to complain about, oh well, there's a lot of latency with it. There's this issue. There's that issue. Yes, I've noticed some of that a little bit, but in the end, does the benefit outweigh the negative? And in this case, absolutely does. And who knows, they might update it down the road, whatever. I don't care. For that price, and I know $1,000 is a lot of money, um still, compared to the other stuff that's out there, it's an amazing deal. Now, I don't know about anybody out there, but I'm going to go onto Amazon right now, right, and I'm going to look up 7-inch monitors. We've had over the last number of years, especially in our industry, a lot of smaller companies coming in, and they have just these bizarre names that I don't understand. Like, first off, for monitors, and I have one, and I like it. It's a Feel World. What the hell is a Feel World? Where did Feel World come from? I don't understand what that means. There's another one here called a Highway, but it's HAI way, Highway. Uh, there's I know I'm talking monitors. There's also lenses. The Serie, and I've seen people doing reviews of these lenses. They've gotten the lenses from the company. The company's sending them lenses to review it, and they still don't know how to pronounce it. And I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it Sirui, Sirui, Surui? I don't know. And it's kind of crazy when you're talking and you talk to other people on set and they're like, man, I really like that monitor, what is it? And you say it's a Highway. A what? A Highway? Yeah, okay. Feel World, Par, oh, Padersi, um Kuman. That's pretty cool, man. Kuman. And there's Ing Cool. I like Ing Cool. Viltrox. What else have we got? We have Sunfounder, Norsemic, Decorn. Ah, I like Decorn. That one's good. That one's it's really popular in Kansas. What kind of monitor you got there, buddy? I got the Decorn, Decorn 7-inch. Some of these become really big brand names, right? But they just have silly names. Newer. Why couldn't they just call it the newer monitor, or whatever? Newer, Neewer. They make monitors. They make lots of other stuff in production. So I see their name around a lot, and I know I have some of their products. But Newer, what is Newer? Uh, this one I don't even know if you're supposed to pronounce it. It's just Eviciv, Evikiv. I don't know. Kenowa, Akuyi, Gesundheit, Yasoka, Ham Tyson. Ham. I like Ham Tyson. That's good. All right, so you get the point. This is just kind of ridiculous. As much as I'm joking about this kind of stuff, the thing that I find amazing is that some of these companies really put a lot of thought into what they're making, and they can make something at a price point that is much more affordable than some of these bigger ones. And sometimes it's kind of like, what's the point of buying the high end one except for the name, right? And that's kind of ridiculous. So, and this is all coming from a guy named Mikon. So, I maybe I'm allowed to say some of these kind of things. I don't know, but uh, but that's kind of my point. Is I find some of these names to be a little bit like, yeah, I don't know. If you're making quality, maybe you got to have a better name. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, thanks. Love you.